OK's recruitment of 50 doctors, 100 nurses for correctional centers. And a Greek minister, Yari, elected IFAD Governing Council Vice Chairman. Away from that to Valentine's Day celebration, NACA urges safety against HIV STIs. And still moving on, 160 healthcare providers trained by who do well to pick a copy of the Nation newspaper. Why CDS? Others were denied Canada visas. You want to know why? Get a copy of the Nation newspaper. Ayan snubs PDP NWC resumes at National Secretariat. That's also another headline. Okay, court orders substituted service in 550 million suit against Army COS. Okay, and Force Ladies 100 million naira distributed to Niger explosion victims. Still with the Nation newspaper and talking about the headlines, alleged missing firearms. Egbetokun writes Senate 6 closed-door investigative sections. Edo poll dispute parties to adopt final addresses March 3. And moving on, Shatima reaffirms federal government's commitment to workers' welfare, wage reforms. That's one headline. And the final one I will take from the Nation newspaper. And it says, Wike assures timely completion of ongoing infrastructure projects in the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. And that's the very much I can take from the Nation newspaper talking about the headlines. Okay, let's move to another paper. And the final one I will take from the Nation newspaper. And it says, Wike assures The next paper I have is the Vanguard newspaper, and so much more to talk about and to discuss right here in the Vanguard newspaper. And the first one says, loan controversy. Onosoya storms court to clear name. That in the Vanguard newspaper. Shetima to ILO, DG, Tinubu passionate about workers' welfare. Come and see America Wonder. This is also an article in the Vanguard newspaper. Lagos signs agreement with Water Aid to revive Akilo Water Works. And a video here says, leave my son alone. Two-Face mother begs Edo lawmaker Natasha. That's in the entertainment world. You're interested, pick a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, Nadu quits Honest Bunch podcast amid controversy. That's another entertainment news in the Vanguard newspaper. Let's move away from entertainment to now politics. Edo PDP and WC reaffirms Azegbemi-led caretaker. Okay, more in the Vanguard newspaper. And this one says, break the national grid into smaller units now. This is, an advice given by Adekunle Adekoya. You want to get more details? It's all in the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Okay, let's move on to another headline. This one says, return to the party. Governor Mba begs aggrieved PDP members. Nigeria moves to strengthen health system amid global aid decline. This is coming from PART. And Oyetola reaffirms commitment to marine resource development. Away from that, Lagos government to demolish illegal structures on Banana Island. And military recovers aircraft engines from crash sites. This is coming from the Defense Headquarters. And still with the Vanguard newspaper, Benue to complement federal government dualization of 250 kilometer Makodi Enugu highway. This is coming from Governor Aliyah. Okay, that's the much I can take. Much I can take from the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Let's move on to another paper. Don't forget that we are live on our YouTube channel at Iri FM Ibadan, Iri Nat 6.1 FM. Okay, that's the YouTube handle. Head over there because we are streaming live. Watch, subscribe, and like, and then drop your comments. Iri 96.1 FM is the YouTube channel for this morning. Okay, now with the Vanguard newspaper, let's take a look at some of the headlines in the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And the first one says, women, girls urged to shun unsafe abortions. Ashagba bans activities of unregistered native doctors. That's another headline. Loan controversy, Onosonya appears in court to clear name. Chaos returns to Ladipo service lane as mechanics as street urchins take over. And still with the Guardian newspaper, customs intercepts large catch of arms ammunition in Lagos. And critics question parities as National Assembly passes record 54.99 trillion naira budget. And University of Ibadan, you are medical students protest hall exemption from restored power to University College Hospital UCH. You are medical students protest hall exemption from restored power to UCH. Southwest Governor partner on regional development, plan joint security team against bandits. That's another headline. Moving on, state creation proposal abates to mislead public, warns CSO. Nigeria seeks review of UN funding over undue influence. That's also another headline. Who made that statement and why is that headline so? Pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And fresh concerns over AI cybersecurity tools usage. Adeleke alleges plot by opposition to destabilize Osun. NHRC to launch human rights radio station as Borno NUJ applaud medium. And Amotekun rescues 14-year-old survivor, others in Ogun raid. That's all in the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Okay, moving ahead, let's take more headlines from the Guardian newspaper. Another court strikes out defamation case against Farotimi. Okay, another court strikes out a defamation case against Farotimi. That's another headline in the Guardian newspaper. And Dairies calls administration high at 5th anniversary celebration. That's one, and that's the much I can take from the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Do well to pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper and get details of some of these headlines. Now let's move over to Daily Independent newspaper, and quite a packed newspaper in terms of headlines. We have interesting headlines right here, and I will be taking them one after another. Don't forget these headlines. You can get details when you pick up a copy of the newspapers. Okay, the Daily Independent newspaper. Customs hand over 3,897 intercepted rifles, cartridges to NSA. That's in the paper. Tinubu committed to workers' welfare minimum wage review, says our Vice President Kashim Shettima. And Lagos raises BRT fares by 18% February 17. And the federal government okays employment of 50 doctors, 100 nurses for correctional centers. And Senate charges federal government on bad roads, warned North East in highway projects. And NECA seeks effective adjudication process in resolving industrial disputes. Moving ahead, the National Assembly passes 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget, raises own share to 344.85 billion naira. National Assembly passes 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget and raises own share to 344.85 billion naira. And away from that, Edo Deputy Governor tasked religious leaders on development drive. That's 120 billion naira land scam. Kano Anti-Graft Agency arrests judicial officials, lawyers. That's also in the Daily Independent newspaper for this morning. Okay, still to come. Well, CBN warns bank against imposing withdrawal limits. CBN warns banks imposing withdrawal limits. I beg your pardon. CBN warns banks imposing withdrawal limits. And moving on, federal government moves reduction of agencies at seaports for seamless transactions. Okay, and away from that to another newspaper for this morning. Daily Trust is what is up next, and Fed reps to probe Finance Ministry or AGF over alleged fraudulent activities in contractors' payments. That's one headline. Alleged 2.5 billion naira fraud. Court acquits ex-NBC boss Kawu Modibo, and corruption allegations. Court adjourns suit against Ganduje wife, orders to April 15. And UN Fayemi orders Oluwaaseun Ogunrotimi at 65. UTME parents candidates express frustration at registration centers. Renowned Kano politician Amadu Zako buried. National Assembly passes a 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget. That's another headline. And Ribado tackles Canada for denying CDS others visas. Southwest governors to establish joint security surveillance. That's also in the Daily Trust newspaper. We must get communities to defend themselves. DSS DG making that recommendation. Tinubu approves establishment of paramilitary academy. That's another one. And Uni Abuja visa crisis. Concerned staff petition against removal of Professor Aisha. That's all in the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning. Get a copy to be updated, and so much more to talk about in the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning. Still with the Daily Trust newspaper, let's take more headlines. And this one says Delta Air Force police officer clash over drug suspects. And away from that, Muritala Muhammad Foundation to honor Nigerians, Africans named after him. How Nigerian ports will benefit from NPA's tariff review, that's another one. And Rep. Senator Muritala reshuffle standing committee. Ahmadiyya calls for justice and equity as part of global peace. That's another headline. And well, Tinubu's government can't silence me. Professor Yusuf speaks from detention. More stories, all in the Daily Trust newspaper. Do well to pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper. And quite a bit of interesting headlines right here. The first one says PDP crisis. South leaders oppose Benin meeting. NWC split over Ayao. PDP crisis. South leaders oppose Benin meeting. NWC split over Ayao. And President Tinubu arrives in Ethiopia for AU summit. I'm talking about Katsina local government poll. Police restrict movement as INEC begins distribution of sensitive materials. And in the entertainment world, Free My Son, Two-Face mother begs Edo lawmaker Natasha Osawuru. And on the foreign scene, Trump administration begins firing probationary staff. And varsity bars Edo IDP students from exams over 116.3 million naira debts. And moving ahead, minimum wage, Nasarawa Tertiary Institution embark on warning strike. Across River welcomes federal government's partnership on Obudu Ranch. That's one headline. Yahoo boys now involved in ritual killings, banditry. This is coming from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairman. EFCC chair says that Yahoo boys now involved in ritual killings, banditry. Southwest governors plan joint operation against ISWAP terrorists. Lagos partners water aid to rehabilitate waterworks. That's another one. Assembly urges Sanwo-Olu to complete abandoned projects. In Oyo State, Oyo appoints new superb secretaries. Lagos State government helps on safety in boarding school. That's another one. Ogun shot at Daton market over street trading. Federal government ex-envoy slam Canada for denying military chiefs visas. Minister decries King's College infrastructure decay, 7 months blackouts. That's another one. A court adjourns Ganduje's wife's alleged misappropriation case till to April 15. Court adjourns Ganduje wife's allegation misappropriation case to April 15. Okay, the final headline I'm going to be taking from the Punch newspaper, and it says Edo Tribunal, APC closes case, parties prepare final addresses. And that's the very much we can take for the full segment of the Morning Rush. We're going to break right now. When we come back, we'll be giving you details of some of these headlines. And then don't forget, you also can join the conversation. Head over to our YouTube page, Erie 96.1 FM, or you can call 090-5696-9961 or 090-3991-6580. Let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly.
Feeling stuck? Need a boost of inspiration? Look no further. The dew of motivation is here. You are listening to Erie 96.1, your favorite radio station for non-stop classics. We are the king.
You fit fly.
Hello there. Are you thinking of embarking on a journey to any country in Europe, America, South America, Asia, Australia, or wherever you may desire in the world for education, tourism, business, or what have you, and you are confused on how to go about it? You Fit Fly is your go-to company that will help you realize your dream. That is why you are enjoined to talk to us at You Fit Fly for seamless flight reservation, hotel reservation, educational consulting, visa processing, airport transfer, special vacation, travel travel insurance, holy pilgrimage, and international conferences. Visit us today at Success House, 7 Up Road, Oluwole Estate, Ring Road, Ibadan, or call 0901 111 1190. Website youfitfly.com. At YouFitFly, your travel logistics will be sorted out seamlessly.
Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní kò sí kékeré àkàntí kì í nílé lórí torí pákàmọ́ tó ń ṣe lásìkò ni ọ̀rẹ́ wa lóòótọ́ nígbàdùn ayé ṣe pàtàkì ṣùgbọ́n àjẹjù pẹpẹ sóòpù àti sàwámà abẹ́gò lórí sígò lórí a máa jẹ́ kéèyàn pánlé mìrẹ́ǹtì èyí ló fi yẹ kí wọ́n náà pa kìtìmọ́lẹ̀ lónìí kó wá lọ ra lẹ̀ tí ń sunkún lé ní OPJ Homes and Properties pẹ̀lú mílíọ̀nù kan náírà péré fún éka kan tó di plot mẹ́fà ń bẹ́nu rẹ̀ bákan náà la ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹni tó bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn a ní Kidis Estate Ìtùnú Estate Farm Estate gbogbo ẹ̀ ní Bàkàntàrí eléyìí tó wà lọ́mí àdìo ní Ìbàdàn àǹfààní iṣẹ́ díẹ̀ sì wà lọ́dọ̀ wa kò dẹ̀ sí wàhálà àwọn ọmọ onílẹ̀ ìfàfàlàlà fàlàlà lélẹ́yìí ẹ wá tọwọ́ fàbẹ́nu ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn 070309811 07047900080 ní OPJ Homes and Properties ilẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé.
Asalaamu alaikum wa rahmatulahi wa barakatu. A kí gbogbo mùsùlùmí mùsùlùmọ́ lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin wípé a kó palẹ̀mọ́ oṣù abiyẹ Ramadan. Ọ̀pọ̀ rẹ̀ láṣẹ o. Pẹ̀lú bí Ramadan ti wá ń wọlé dé kànlẹ̀kùn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n. Èyí ló mú ìkànnì rí 96.1 FM. Tá a wà ládojúkọ NTA Lágòdì Gate Ìbàdàn máa pe tó lórí tẹlẹmù. Níjọ ẹ̀yin ẹgbẹ́ alásàlátù, ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́jà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Láti wá ṣonígbọ̀wọ́ ọ̀kan òjọ̀kan àwọn ètò wa. Bí ẹ dìde ẹ mú sàrí jẹ, ìrun pípé wá sí ìgbàdégbà àbẹ́yìn fẹ́ ran àwọn àkókò bíi ìṣẹ́jú 5, 10, 15, 30 ìṣẹ́jú ẹ lè máa pe alága ìgbìmọ̀ Ramadan Alhaji Zakariya Arisekola sórí 0816-879-1094 Ramadan bá a ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ládàánú rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba Allah kò ní í dùn wá ládàá rẹ̀ bídìnnìlá Ramadan intenzurullah yanzurukum.
This is your man Flo Rida.
Hey, what's happening? This your homie Plies, man.
Hey, yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy Bow Weezy, man. Check it out.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Hi, I'm Charlie Puth.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney.
Your systems are offline.
Tune in to Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves. Join us.
Welcome back to the Morning Rush on Erie 96.1 FM. I'm still here. Oluwaaseun Ogunrotimi is my name. And this is the second phase, the second segment of the Morning Rush, where we give you details of some of the headlines we read to you earlier. This is also the part where you join the conversation. Don't forget that we are streaming live on our YouTube page at Erie 96.1 FM. That's our YouTube channel, Erie 96.1 FM. Do well to like, subscribe, and drop your comments. We can always engage with each other on our YouTube page. Okay, also the number to call to share your thoughts on some of the stories in the daily newspapers. The number to call is 090-5696-9961. 090-5696-9961. Okay, you can call those numbers. Another number you can call is 090-39 09039916580. 09039916580. Now let's get started and get details of some of the headlines given to you earlier. The first one I will take, it's coming from the Nation newspaper, and it says Southwest governors join forces to ward off ISWAP bandits. And the writer says joint surveillance technology boost for Amotekun. Creation of food hub in each state to bring down prices. Southwest governors have reason to in unison to secure the region and prevent the infiltration of fleeing bandits and terrorists into their towns and villages because of the hit on the which the military has put bandits and terrorists in the northwest. Some of them who escaped the attacks are heading south. In recent months, there have been reports of bandits being discovered in southwest forests, especially in Ondo and Ekiti, which shares a boundary with Kogi State. The northern part of Oyo State has also reported a movement of suspected terrorists. Yesterday, the six governors in the geopolitical zones were hosted to a meeting at Alausa, Ikeja. They resolved to commence joint surveillance and give full backing to Amotekun with shared intelligence and the use of technology. All the governors, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Dapo Abiodun Ogun State, Ademola Adeleke of Osun State, Biodun Oyebanji of Ekiti State, and Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State attended the meeting. The deployment of technology is a follow-up to the intense anti-terrorism activities which each of the states embarked upon in the wake of threat of bandits' infiltration into the zone. Also, members of the development agenda for Western Nigeria, DAN, were at the meeting to brief the governors on the activities in all sectors, including agriculture, industrialization, and empowerment. Each of the governors, it was also learned, spoke on efforts in provision of food to prevent price hike and reduce inflation. On food security, the governors resolved to develop food hubs in all 6 states. And more to the story, do well to pick a copy of the Nation newspaper. And the headline says, Southwest governors join forces to ward off ISWAP bandits. The writer says, joint surveillance technology boost for Amotekun. Creation of food hub in each state to bring down prices. National Assembly passes 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget estimates. That's the next headline and the next story. I will be giving you some details. The 54.99 trillion naira proposed 2025 expenditure was yesterday passed by the National Assembly. The sum is 749.99 billion naira, higher than 54.2 trillion naira estimates forwarded to both chambers of the National Assembly by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The estimates will now be presented to the President for assent. It was gathered that the newly created North Central Development Commission and South-South Development Commission, which hitherto were not accommodated in the budget, were allocated some funds. Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had its budget increased by 100 billion naira from 40 billion naira. The passage of the budget followed the presentation, consideration, and adoption of the recommendation of the Joint Senate and House of Representative Committees on Appropriation. The President Tinubu submitted 49.7 trillion naira to a joint assembly section of the National Assembly for consideration and passage, but later requested that it be increased to 54.2 trillion naira. He cited additional revenue of 4.2 trillion naira available to government as a reason. Okay, well, that's the much. There's so much to talk about. Talking about which agency, which enterprise has what budget. It's all written here. Details is all in the Nation newspaper. Details you find in the Nation newspaper. The headline says National Assembly passes 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget estimates. Okay, the final story I will take from the Nation newspaper, just so I can move over to other newspapers. This one says why CDS others were denied Canada visas. Ribado lashes American country, North American country. There were indications yesterday that the Canadian embassy denied the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and top military brass visa due to a diplomatic error. The affected officers applied for Canadian visas without note verbal from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But the federal government has stepped into the matter and was trying to salvage the situation last night. A source who spoke with journalists said it was a diplomatic error on the part of the desk officers who handled the CDS and others visa applications. There is more to the story. In the response to that, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu condemned the Canadian government for denying visas to General Musa and other top military officers. Speaking at the meeting annual lecture of the National Association of the Institute of Security Studies in Abuja, Ribadu said Canada, made an error that shouldn't be. It spoke following Governor Musa's comments on the development. General Musa's comments on the development. General Musa said he and his team were scheduled to attend a war veterans event in Canada but were denied entry. More to the story, because there's more from the National Nigerian. There's more to the story, and do well to pick a copy of the Nation newspaper. It says why CDS others were denied Canada visas. With the Punch newspaper right now, let's take a look at some headlines and some details. Their details. CBN retains 100 naira ATM fee for withdrawals below 20,000 naira. The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced that Nigerians withdrawing less than 20,000 naira from another bank's automated teller machine will still be charged a fee of 100 naira per transaction. This is according to a document published by the Apex Bank on its website, which provides further information on a new CBN directive. The directive is part of the newly revised ATM transaction fee set to take effect from March 1, 2025, as contained in the CBN circular. Under the revised fee structure, withdrawals from one's bank ATMs will remain free of charge. However, customers using ATMs of other banks will be subjected to a charge of 100 naira per withdrawal of 20,000 naira or less at on-site ATM which are located within or directly affiliated with a bank branch. Off-site ATM which are positioned outside bank premises such as shopping malls, fuel stations, and other public spaces will attract an additional surcharge of up to 500 naira per transaction. For international ATM withdrawals, charges will be based on cost recovery, meaning customers will bear the exact fee applied by the international acquirer. The CBN stated that the charge on withdrawal below 20,000 naira is intended to prevent customers from splitting withdrawals into smaller amounts to avoid fees. The reason for applying the fee for every 20,000 naira withdrawal is to prevent customers from being compelled to break their withdrawals to less than 20,000 naira per withdrawal. There's more to the story. There are other charges being explained right here. Do well to pick a copy of the Punch newspaper. It says CBN retains 100 naira ATM fee for withdrawal below 20,000 naira. Still with the Punch newspaper, Ogun Ondo clash over ownership of oil-rich island. The Ogun State government dismissed claims by the Ondo State government over the ownership of Iba Island, where an oil well is currently under investigation. The Ogun government asserted that the island falls within its jurisdiction and cautioned against any attempt to stir communal tension between the Ijebu and Ilaje people who have historically coexisted peacefully. The controversy reportedly arose after the senior special assistant to Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, on strategic communication, Alan Showore, issued a statement asserting that Okeago Ishekun, where an abandoned oil well was discovered, belongs to Ondo State and not Ogun State. However, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun's special advisor on energy, Mr. Jide Onokoya, described Ondo's claim as misleading and contrary to established historical, traditional, and legal evidence. Onokoya labeled such assertion by Shore as an affront to the Awujale of Ijebuland and the Jebu Traditional Council, reiterating that historical records and documented evidence confirm that the disputed area is within Ogun State. He clarified that the boundary between local and state governments are based on markers recognized by the National Boundary Commission, and that a thorough examination of relevant maps affirms that Iba Island lies within Ogun Waterside local government in Ogun State. Well, that's the much I can take for that story. Ogun Ondo clash over ownership of oil-rich island. That's all our the Punch newspaper captured the headline. Do not forget, we are still live, streaming live on our YouTube channel, Erie Nat 6.1 FM. Do well to subscribe, like, and drop your comments right there. You can also call 090-5696-9961. 090-5696-9961 or 090-3991-6580. 090-3991-6580. Calling to be a part of today's conversation. Okay, more stories, but right now I'm with the Daily Trust newspaper. The story I'm going to take from the Daily Trust newspaper says, Tinubu's government can't silence me. Professor Yusuf speaks from detention. Former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, Professor Usman Yusuf, who is facing corruption allegations, has detailed his experience in the hands of security operatives and officials of the Federal Correctional Center. Yusuf had been a vocal critic of President Bola Tinubu, his government and policies. His trial reportedly began after a viral interview criticizing Nigeria's newfound romance with France, among other public commentary that allegedly unsettled the government. He was recently arrested by officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and subsequently slammed with 5 counts charges bordering on alleged embezzlement and conferment of undue advantage to himself as the boss of NHIA in 2016. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges in court, but on Wednesday, a federal capital territory high court shifted ruling in its bail application. More to the story, do well to pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper. The headline says, Tinubu government can't silence me. Professor Yusuf speaks from detention. Okay, more with the Daily Trust newspaper. Federal government moves 100% freight movement by rail. The management of the Nigeria Railway Corporation